This is Dr. Richard Schultz, intestinal formula number 1, intestinal formula number 2. This is homemade Dr. Hulda, that's Hulda, Clark, that's Clark, anti-parasite tincture, which consists of the herbal extracts, and in this case homemade, of cloves, wormwood, and black walnut hull tincture. So this is made per her recipe in A Cure for All Diseases and also on curezone.com in the section that is on cleansing and Dr. Hulda Clark. So for 2 weeks, I'm taking these capsules, intestinal formula number 1, increasing 1 a day up until the 2nd week, and then take 1 in addition to that number, whatever that number turns out to be. Then for the 2nd week, I'm also beginning formula number 2, which today makes day number 8. So I've been on the intestinal cleanse for this period of time. Now this is a jar where I put a little water in there. I'm going to put a total of 8 ounces in there. And then I'm going to put the lid on it. And I'm going to shake it up. And then I'm going to drink it. So that will make the intestinal formula number 2. So you can study about this if you want at Dr. Richard Schultz, that's Shulze, on Google Video, and put in colon cleanse or intestinal formula on YouTube or Google Video or in Google or Bing, some search engine. And you can also check out the American Botanical Pharmacy in California and study all about Dr. Schultz or get more information. I've known about Dr. Richard Schultz and his products and his teachings as far back as 1996 and 1997 through Sam Biser, that's Biser. And it was in that period of time that I had the Save Your Life video course from Sam Biser and Dr. Richard Schultz. Then there was information about a different liver flush or liver cleanse that I do. And I personally, after having done Schultz style of liver flush, and my ex-wife having done them as well, I personally get more energy and results, if you will, in my observation and in my opinion. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not giving medical advice. But I personally get more out of Dr. Hulda Clark's liver cleanse. And in fact, the results have been so profound here in the very house I'm in right now, where I filmed one video of the results of a liver flush a few years ago, about 3 years ago or so, that particular video has over 44,000 views on YouTube from around the world. Another video I did in the summer, June, I think it was, of 2008 has well over, is it 20 yet? It's over 19,000 views, maybe more, where I speak about the liver flush, about cleansing the liver. And in today's world, when you've got news stories about Fukushima in Japan and the alleged radioactivity, nuclear radioactivity that could have spread worldwide, if you don't want to get a Geiger counter and one that checks all 3 or more, whatever it is, the different particles, the radioactive particles that can get into food and water, before you eat or drink anything. One other approach that I've personally taken and remembered and kept in mind, but remember, I've been doing this since, I've been doing colon cleansing since 1998 at minimum, if not sooner. It might have been as early as 96. I think it was 98 for sure, 97, 98, those years. And I've been doing them a few times every year ever since. One of my grandmothers had colon cancer and colostomy the last years of her life. Being in a family that's in the nursing care business, and I myself having managed a residential care home for over 5 years and been involved around another one, even I'll be at one here in a little bit today, a family-owned nursing home, we're very familiar with colostomy and colon cancer, we deal with it quite frequently. So I've kept my family genetics or history in mind. And one nice thing about the intestinal formula number 2 is that according to Dr. Richard Schultz, it's either the bentonite clay or maybe it's another ingredient, an herbal ingredient in the formula. But in any case, he mentions that it's supposed to remove over 3,000 known drug residues from the colon. And also strontium-99, which is a nuclear radioactive substance or particle. Is it true? I don't know. I'm not making that claim. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't give medical advice. I don't treat, dose, diagnose, or cure anything. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is May 2014. Michael R. Vanderpool, Marshall, Missouri. And yes, I'll do the anti-parasite tincture these 2 weeks that I'll do the colon cleanse. I might break for a week after I do the liver cleanse after that. The Hulda Clark style liver cleanse, liver flush, 24-hour operation really, or protocol. And then I may return and do it one more time as far as the liver cleanse itself after, I think it's a 2-week period. And I always feel better, look better, more energetic. And if Dr. Richard Schultz is correct about the Merck manual, the physicians that reference this book in the Merck, that's MERCK manual, states that the average American male or man by the time they're between the ages of 40 and 45 years old, there's up to 10 to 15 pounds backed up in fecal matter in what is approximately 33 foot of colon or intestines in the average man. Also keeping in mind adequate hydration, which gets difficult when people are on certain medications, pharmaceuticals, or drinking lots of caffeine or other alcohol and so on certain types of weather. Keeping hydrated enough and getting enough exercise and activity is a problem for some people. I've noticed that seems to affect colon health and movement as well. But if it's true that the average American male by the time between the ages of 40 and 45 are 10 to 15 pounds backed up in fecal matter, well, then there's another part of the picture of the so-called American health problem and weight problem. Again, this is just for entertainment purposes only. And for your information, I'm not a medical doctor. And I do make the Dr. Clarkia, that's Clarkia. I use that recipe from Dr. Hulda Clark and make that here at home. It's alleged to be an anti-parasite herbal extract. We have so many black walnut trees, and we use the green walnuts and the black walnuts both. And the cloves and the wormwood we have purchased from either Clover's health food store in Colombia or Pacific Botanicals out on the coast or Blessed Herbs. We try to get the best herbs that we can for these kinds of things. So that's what we do. We make our own, just as Dr. Richard Schultz has given the demonstrations and the how-to on doing that at home. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out those sources of information if that interests you. In the meantime, good health and best wishes.